Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're embarking on, well, a really fascinating journey, I think. It's into a narrative that, across various texts we've looked at, it just powerfully illustrates this intersection of faith, really desperate choices, and maybe encounters with the unseen.
Exactly. And our mission here in this deep dive is basically to unpack this story of Maryam. She's this young woman whose strength and unwavering trust were really tested.
Against some pretty formidable odds, right?
Yeah.
Including a legendary Jinn, which is quite something.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to explore how that deep conviction, as these sources show it, can guide someone through, well, seemingly impossible situations, and how it might even transform a whole community.
We're not just retelling a story then. It's more like using this incredible narrative as
Right.
a kind of case study.
Precisely. To pull out these broader insights about resilience, piety, and just the power of belief when things get tough, our sources paint a really vivid picture of a place like Norabad, this sun-scorched village.
Right, where poverty was just a constant, but faith was, well, apparently even stronger.
Brighter than any hardship, yeah.
So let's dig into this setting first.
Yeah.
What did our research into sort of regional folklore show about places like Norabad?
Well, these accounts, they don't really talk about big markets or fancy buildings. It's more about, dry, cracked earth, quiet mountains, that kind of landscape.
But the real wealth, as these stories frame it, was different. It was in patience, hard work, and this really profound belief in the oneness of God.
Tawhid, right.
Exactly, Tawhid. And this belief system, it seems it was just woven into the fabric of daily life there.
How so?
Well, mornings in Nirabad, according to our readings, they started with the call to prayer. And the people, they genuinely seemed to value the afterlife much more than, worldly stuff. This deep conviction in Allah really sets the stage.
Okay, so within that context, we meet Hamid Ansari. He's about 60, a woodcutter. And the sources really highlight his spirit, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. He'd consistently say, Alhamdulillah, praise be to God.
Even when things were really dire, with every breath, yeah, even in deep poverty. And his wife, Razia Khatun, she'd been bedridden for years. Their only daughter, Maryam, was seen as this, divine gift.
And what stands out about this family across the different accounts is that unwavering faith, isn't it? Despite always lacking things.
Totally striking. They often struggled for basics, food, medicine, but no complaints. Hameen, for instance, he always prioritized earning through halal means permissible ways.
Even if it meant going hungry.
Yeah. And Radzia, despite being ill, she was constantly advising Maryam about modesty, parda, they call it, and staying connected to the Qur'an.
And Maryam really absorbed these values. From a young age, she kind of understood her family's situation and her own connection to God.
She did. She managed the house, cared for her mother, recited the Qur'an every evening, and apparently her recitation was beautiful.
So sweet that neighbors would listen in.
That's what the sources say, yeah. Just sit outside quietly to hear her. She was about 17, 18, known for modesty, but also this inner light. Nur, they call it.
And the village women saw her as an example.
They did, telling their own daughters, be like Maryam, a servant of Allah, not a slave of the world. Quite a powerful image.
So her character, really forged in hardship and this deep spirituality, becomes crucial when things take a turn.
A really devastating turn, actually, which leads us to this pivotal moment in the narrative.
Right. This is where the story shifts dramatically. Our collected accounts really stress this. One morning, Hamid Ansari is out in the forest, just doing his usual work.
Cutting wood, yeah. But then, he's cutting a dry branch, slips.
Breaks his leg. Badly.
Yeah, incapacitated for at least 5 months, the texts say, which for them was catastrophic.
Instantly plunged the family into even deeper poverty. I mean, Maryam's mother, already weak, now her father's helpless.
Suddenly, everything, medicine, food, firewood, it all falls on Maryam. Poverty wasn't just knocking anymore, it was inside their home, a real crisis.
And Maryam's first thought, seeing how desperate things are, is firewood. But the only place to get it is the forest.
The forest. And this wasn't just any forest, was it? The village had this deep-seated fear about it.
Tell us about that. What did the sources reveal?
Well, it really brings up this whole weight of local folklore. When Maryam even mentioned going, her mother, Razia, just trembled. Neighbors, elders, they all rushed over.
To try and stop her.
Exactly. Telling these chilling stories about a jinn, a supernatural being. Decades ago, apparently, this jinn targeted unmarried girls, took them, forcibly married them.
And they were never seen again.
Never seen again. And the warning was stark. If the jinn wanted a girl, nothing, not even the Qur'an, not prayers, nothing would help. It paints a picture of real spiritual terror in the community.
Wow. Yet despite these terrifying stories, these pleas, Maryam, she holds firm.
Absolute steadfast. Her resolve, the accounts say, was just unshaken. She even challenged them, asking something like, "My father always earned honestly. Should I choose a forbidden path for him now?"
Powerful. She just affirmed her faith in God and the Qur'an.
It's a striking moment of conviction, isn't it? That inner strength people find under pressure. We see that theme in a lot of spiritual narratives. Her nur, that inner light, was already there. And this is where the story digs into the jinn's past, the village's history of piety, and what it all meant.
So while the village is reeling from her decision, the oldest man, Hafiz Muhammad Usman, he reveals this secret, right?
Yeah.
About the jinn.
Yeah, a long-kept secret. He tells them that years ago, a tyrannical jinn really did plague the village, abducting pure girls at night. No prayers seemed to work, nothing.
Total desperation.
You can imagine. Then a dervish arrived, Hazrat Fazlur Rahman. A dervish is a kind of Muslim mystic known for spiritual discipline.
Okay. And what did he do?
He gathered everyone in the mosque for 3 whole nights, just continuous worship. Then on the 4th night, he went alone.
Alone, to the jinn's lair.
To the jinn's lair under an old neem tree. And there he recited specific, powerful verses from the Qur'an. Ayatul Kursi, which is all about God's absolute power and protection. Surah Baqarah, the longest chapter, often linked to spiritual strength. And Surah Jinn, which talks directly about jinn and their submission to God.
And Usman Sahab described this scene, the confrontation.
Vividly. The jinn screamed, apparently, but Hazrat didn't back down. He declared 7 times that as long as the village daughter stayed pure and patient, the jinn couldn't leave that tree.
And he imprisoned the jinn.
In the tree.
Bound him within that tree. But Usman Sahab had a critical warning for Maryam. He told her she had the same kind of inner light, the same nur, as the wali's prayers. A wali being like a saint, a holy person.
Right.
But he warned, if any village girl ever strayed from modesty or patience, that tree would shake again. The jinn would be free.
So a huge spiritual responsibility rested on the village women, and now specifically on Maryam. How did she react to that?
That very night, she went up on the roof to pray, just expressing total reliance on God. She prepared for the forest journey meticulously, performed ablution, the ritual washing.
Prayed istikhara, the prayer for guidance. Exactly. And recited Ayatul Kursi as she walked. Our notes really emphasize this. It wasn't just physical steps, it was deeply spiritual. She felt God, the Qur'an, her conviction, all accompanying her.
You have to think about the psychological effect of that preparation. As she gets near the forest, the accounts say the wind picks up, trees rustle, spooky stuff.
Definitely ominous. But her recitation, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil, Allah is sufficient for me. He's the best disposer of affairs. It just echoed through the gloom. This was clearly a confrontation brewing.
And the jinn. What happens deep in the forest?
This is where the folklore gets really fascinating. As Maryam's recitation, this pure sound, gets closer to that old tree, something stirs. The jinn wakes up.
Described as being full of centuries of hate and vengeance.
Loneliness, yeah. But he awakens not just to a sound, but to a light. His eyes open, and he doesn't just see a human, he feels this radiant nur, a total contrast to his own darkness.
And he's shocked.
Utterly. He sees this girl dressed in white, holding the Qur'an, reciting God's light on her face. Even the wind, the source says, seemed respectful around her.
Because she shows no fear.
No fear, no panic. And amazingly, her words can peace. His heart, which had supposedly never beaten for anyone, trembles. The narrative even has him thinking, is this love? Which adds this whole complex layer.
So that first interaction, it's quite profound.
It really is. The jinn appears misty, gigantic, powerful. But Maryam, just calmly, no fear, offers, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you.
Not the reaction he expected.
Not at all. He's taken aback, whispers back, Walaikum assalam, O human light. And the story says time just seemed to stop. A monumental, peaceful exchange.
Amazing. It really flips the script on the usual scary jinn story. So the next morning, Maryam's back, collecting wood, reciting.
And the jinn approaches again, but his voice, the sources say, is different now. Less mysterious, more hesitant, almost emotional.
And he doesn't threaten. He proposes marriage.
Bam! The ultimate temptation. A real trial of faith like we see in so many of these spiritual stories.
What does he promise her?
Everything. Heal her father, cure her mother, bring incredible wealth, end all their problems. Just say yes.
It's that classic temptation, isn't it? Worldly solutions for a spiritual compromise.
Exactly. And Maryam is just stunned. This isn't some normal proposal. And she knows jinn don't take rejection lightly.
So she goes home completely torn.
Her heart's at war. The narrative describes her seeing her mother's weak eyes, her father's bandaged leg, the empty stove. That terrible thought, can I fix all this? with just one word.
A struggle anyone could understand, really, even without the supernatural element.
Absolutely. And the story describes her night of agony, awake, weeping, holding the Qur'an, just constantly asking God for the right path, reminding herself she's his servant only.
Praying, begging for guidance.
Prostrating, begging, "Don't leave me alone, my master. Show me the way." That deep reliance on divine help is such a core theme.
And then, at dawn, she seeks wisdom.
Yes, from the village's most respected scholar, Hazrat Waliduddin. He listens patiently to this incredible story.
And what's his advice?
He tells her basically that her patience is her greatest treasure and Allah is always with the patient. Standard spiritual teaching, emphasizing endurance.
But Maryam must still be thinking about her parents, the practical side. She mentions the Jinn's promise of healing.
And that's when the scholar gets really serious. He gives this powerful warning, something that echoes way beyond just this story.
What does he say?
He says, essentially, "This Jinn is cunning, daughter. He wants your faith in exchange for wealth. Remember, healing is only from Allah, not from any Jinn, not from any human. Stick to your Lord's path, and Allah himself will show you the way."
Wow. That's hitting the core issue.
Right. And the source says Maryam cried then, but not from fear, from conviction. She recognized the deeper truth. It clarifies where real power lies.
What a moment.
Okay.
So armed with this clarity, this renewed conviction, she goes back.
Back to the forest at dawn. Modesty on her face, Qur'an in hand, reciting, that flame of conviction just burning inside her, and the feel that used to surround the forest, it just seems to melt away beneath her feet. She has this inner certainty now.
And the Jinn appears again. How is he described this time?
With a hint of longing, maybe even love, in his eyes, the account says. He asks for her answer.
And Maryam.
Looks him right in the eye, no blinking, and declares, "My parents' well-being comes only from my Lord. I don't need your wealth. I need the wealth of my patience and my trust in Allah."
It's not really rebellion, is it? It's an affirmation of something higher.
Exactly. And then she starts reciting Ayatul Kursi again, and then Surah Falak and Surah Nas.
Which are often used for protection from evil, right?
Precisely. And the power of those words coming from her with her unwavering spiritual strength, it has this immediate, huge effect.
What happens to the Jinn?
He starts to writhe. The ground shakes, trees bend. He cries out, "Stop this light, it's too intense." But Maryam's voice just gets stronger, fueled by her conviction. He falls to the ground, weeping, and confesses, "You've taught me humanity, the lesson of truth. I won't trouble anyone anymore. May Allah guide me too." It's this incredible moment of repentance, showing a different side to the Jinn.
And Maryam just leaves.
Turns and walks away. Her steps, the source says poetically, were treading not just on leaves, but on his repentance. An amazing transformation, changing the whole nature of that confrontation.
So what happens next, after this incredible encounter?
Well, time passes, and Maryam's decision, her courage, it genuinely changes the whole village's mindset. People who tried to stop her, now they hold her up as this amazing example.
And the elders shift the narrative too.
Yeah, they talk about her victory through patience and faith, not just, magically defeating a Jinn. It becomes a spiritual triumph.
And her family. Did the Jinn's offer ever come true in some other way?
Well, her family's recovery is described as almost miraculous. Her mother's health gets better, her father slowly starts walking again, but no Jinn involved, no magic bargain.
Just Maryam's prayers and faith.
Her constant recitation, her nightly prayers, her unwavering faith. The story presents it as these being accepted by Allah, highlighting divine intervention.
And the forest itself changes.
The forest, yeah. Once forbidden, especially for unmarried girls, now it echoes with Maryam's recitation in the mornings. The trees seem to bow, the wind pauses respectfully. It becomes a place of peace, not fear, like the community's trauma is healed.
That's quite a legacy.
And the lesson for the kids changes too. No more scary Jinn stories. Now they learn about strength, about belief. There's this sense of an unseen voice whispering along with Maryam's recitation. Whoever makes the Qur'an their companion, no Jinn of this world can scare them.
That shift in the oral tradition alone is really powerful.
It really is. Maryam's story, as we've explored it through these sources in our deep dive, it just profoundly shows that true strength isn't about compromising or quick fixes. It's in that unwavering faith, that resilience.
It really challenges us, doesn't it? To think about what her journey teaches us about finding real solutions, not in the easy answer maybe, but in sticking to our convictions.
Definitely.
So, as you, listening, reflect on Maryam's incredible deep dive into trust and courage, maybe consider, where in your own life could choosing that unwavering belief, that patience over what looks like the easier, faster path, where might that unlock your greatest strength?